Nah, I don't need a Ferrari. I'm going all out. I want a Czinger. Ferrari, that's old school. I want a Czinger. And I'm glad to announce that I have two Zingers with me, Kevin and Lucas.
Father and son Czinger.
Didn't realize that. Well, welcome. In all joking aside, I've been looking carefully at your the as has my producer. Just tell us a little bit about what I'm watching going out here. I've got all the notes on it, the different colors, the blue blood, the what is the tell me about that's blew my mind, and red blooded read my mind. But fantastic colors, but more seriously, this is a very, very unique car. Tell us about it.
Serious, what the car is about is Lucas and I are a father and son team. We're both inventors and technologists, and we love cars. I grew up as a Cleveland hot rodder. He grew up as an LA engineer, and we decided to get together to create a set of tools that would allow us to build the most cutting-edge vehicles, and this is the first of a number of vehicles that we're going to do. It's a hypercar that in the coming year we're going to show the performance of this car will allow us to break the full spectrum of hypercar, fully homologated, street legal car performance records.
Now that's incredible for two reasons. One, you must surely be slightly, I don't know how confident you are, but isn't it a little bit intimidating to see the history of the motor machine, the history of the automobile here in front of you, and just say what you just said, which is, yeah, we'll bring something new and different. That's got to be intimidating.
Well, I mean, you feel honored and you feel blessed. Like last night we were at a dinner and we were sitting with Mario Andretti and Mika
Hakkinen, yeah.
And then the next generation, which was really Zach Brown and Taylor Faust. And obviously you feel honored. At the same time, America is about rebellion. It's about looking at the past and saying, there are no rules. Let's create our own rules. And the person who inspired me, or one of them from a very early age, was Jim Hall, who came in when
Chaparral, yeah.
When Can-Am had no rules, and he created the technology. He set the rules, and that's one of our inspirations.
Lucas, tell me a little bit about your involvement, and tell us also a little bit about what's different and how you go about creating something different in a hypermarket that is starting to get crowded.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing to really realize is we started as a technology company. So we created the tools that now this vehicle is constructed from. And when we say tools, we're not talking about typical automotive design, manufacture, assemble. We're talking about generative design, so really AI-based software systems that we created. We're talking about 3D printing, so not casting, not stamping, 3D printing metals, our own materials, and then assembling them with a very high-precision, laser-guided robotic assembly system. And we spent 5 years creating that technology. And when I joined, we were a Series A startup with maybe a dozen people. Now we're over 200 employees, have raised hundreds of millions of dollars, have launched our first vehicle, and our Tier 1 business, which is supplying components, assemblies, and working with these OEMs, is also going very, very strongly. So I'd say we didn't have a typical path into auto in that we looked and we said there's a fundamental issue actually with how auto designs, manufactures, and assembles. We feel we have a new system from scratch that can solve some of those issues. We got to work, we filed over 500 patents, we hired up this team, we matured the technology to truly be safe for a road-going vehicle. We engineered the 21C, and the 21C here is the, let's say, official production car record holder, and is really showing a performance level that, with all due respect, I don't think we've seen in the hypercar arena before.
Well, I'm a top trumps kid, so give me some performance stats, because that's when I'm playing my top trumps. I need to know, 0 to 60. I need to know horsepower.
Yeah.
Come on, can you tell me?
I'll give a couple. So 0 to 60, 1.88 seconds.
What?
Yep. So
1.88 seconds.
Sure.
Yes.
Quarter mile,
I'd lose my
8.1
shirt.
seconds.
Wow.
So Fast and Furious, Dom Toretto's always talking about the mythical 10-second streetcar? Well,
So-
that's the 8-second real streetcar out on the track right now.
I bet when you met Tanner Faust last night, he offered to help drive the car for you.
Well, he lives in Newport, so we exchanged some contact info. We'll see if he
he's a
gets
stunt
behind the wheel.
driver, so he's ready to go.
He's welcome, but you ask us in a crowded field, why do this?
Yeah.
When you have tools that literally allow you to engineer and create things at a totally new level.
Yeah.
That's why you see automakers out here. Only Aston Martin has been announced, but there are a whole series of automakers that will be providing technology for, and it will allow them to make very, very, very much more advanced structures and better engineering for their vehicles. And this vehicle shows the apex of that.
Now, you're also always looking at the competition. We're looking at the Zenvo here, which is a very unique wing. What do you make of that? It looks as though it's flapping in the wind, but it's actually moving to the steering, evidently. Really interesting. Look at that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. Absolutely. You know what I would say is I know how awesomely hard it is to start a company, create something, and put it in display in public. So I have to say I love all of people's children out there. Of course, we're competitive. Lucas is competitive. I'm competitive. We welcome the competition, and we want to take it on. And we don't want to only exceed these performance metrics. We want to completely rewrite them with this technology and this team.
What also I find interesting is being in this environment rather than an exhibition or a car show like SEMA or wherever. This is so different for a hypercar because you're expecting to see historics, but I love what Jeffrey O'Neill has decided to do, which is include you guys and give the fans of historic racing a look at the future too, because in every Alfa Romeo stroke Porsche stroke Berlinetta Ferrari out there, there is a touch of perhaps what has gone through your minds and where you're building on from.
Yeah, creativity, performance, automotive is in their blood as much as ours, and having the legacy here and having the future, it's awesome for us to be here. And we were in the UK at Goodwood not long ago, showing our car, running our car as well, and it was that similar mix of heritage racing and also modern hypercar racing.
And what Jeff has done here is absolutely spectacular. I have to say, we came here last year, we were blown away, and we love Goodwood. The concept of an American Goodwood is just fantastic. And obviously all of these things, I talked about Jim Hall. There have been, with all of these cars, I'm 63 now, Lucas is 28, all of them have fed in the information and ideas which then allow you to take new ideas, bring them together with old ideas, and evolve things. And I think you need that richness. You need to put all of those ideas into solution in order to precipitate out those new ideas and those new designs.
Well, let's look to the future and let's sort of inform, because there's a lot of people tuning in around the world that won't be here this weekend, but I'm sure we'll be delighted to see what you've got on offer. Tell us about production, where they can find them. Tell us about what the future holds, where you're hoping to go with this. Let's start with production. Where are we?
Great, so we're based in Los Angeles. We've got one factory today. All the engineers sit there, all the production staff sits there as well. For us, first deliveries into the US will be Q4 of next year. So we're just about a year out from our first deliveries, but we're selling internationally. So the UK, Germany, Japan, the Middle East, these are all key regions for us as all. And the initial run of 21Cs will be 80 vehicles total. So this is a very exclusive vehicle. This will be the highest performing vehicle when it goes on sale. But from there, we want to make really a unique and differentiated portfolio of vehicles. Due to our technology, we don't have to platform share. So we can really make a unique GT car, we can make a unique supercar, we can make a unique SUV, we can make a unique hypercar. So over time, you're going to see a portfolio of Czinger vehicles grow across segments, but we want to stay in the niche of performance. That niche allows us to invest heavily in R&D and to sell cars at a margin that really funds that continued investment, and that's where we want to stay.
And if I'm in Preston, Lancashire in England, and I've got a little bit of savings, and I fancy something different, How do I go about wanting to get a Czinger? How do I get on the list with only that many in production?
We have a fantastic dealer in the UK, HR Owen. With
I know it well.
Ken Chu. We love him. But what I would say is, in each of the key regions, sales regions in the world for these type of cars, we have the #1 dealers out there. For example, Tom Price in this area, Tom O'Gara down in Southern California, Miller Motor Car in the Northeast, Prestige in the Southeast. I should stop talking because I'll have to name every single one of these dealers because they're all fantastic. They're all fantastic.
Yeah,
well, let's point people to the Czinger stand. It's right in front of where we're actually sitting right now. So if you are in the paddock today and you look up and you see the big Velocity Invitational logo, the big tent, as it were, it's just in front of that, to the right of that, and you'll see the big logo saying Czinger Motorsports. And it's got a very prevalent position, but you're seeing it on track is the fun part, so that's always good. Quite a few hypercars here this weekend, and we're getting a good display of them at the moment, and they'll get out again, and we'll see more and different ones as the weekend goes on. But pretty happy with what you've got here and what you're showing off, and have you had a look at the competition?
Absolutely. Like I said, I love everyone's children and respect everyone's children. But this is at a totally different level than anything that's ever been designed and created for the street as a performance car. And as Jay Leno said, you know, in his season premiere that featured this car, this is the future of automaking. This is how you do it right. And Jay said this is by far the fastest, best handling production car he's ever driven. And I'm not going to argue with him.
There you go. Well, we're seeing one of the works Porsches going around, and they too have their own stand. But yeah, well, I've got to ask the ugly question. I heard we did a feature on the Zenvos earlier today, so I got a price point there. Give us a rough idea of basic, stroke, custom, paint job, etc.
Yeah, so we start at $2 million base price, and we work up usually to around $2.5 million. So about 500,000 of options is typical for us, and that's really custom interiors, custom colorways. With our 3D printing, we can really, on the interior of the car, also shape it to the customer's
Have you had
desires
any
and
interesting
dreams.
requests from customers, custom-wise?
Yes, I mean, we can't really talk about it because these are
I don't mean
personal
names,
things.
I just mean, you know, sort of nuances that they want.
What I would say that is cool is as long as something is not impacting the crash homologation
of course,
or the emissions compliance, because this is a CARB 2028 emissions compliant vehicle, we can work with them and design and engineer 3D printed structures anywhere in the vehicle. So this is the first time. I mean, obviously people offer a lot of customization with hypercars. We actually are giving them custom engineered options for what they want to do. And what I'd say is cool is we've had more than a half a dozen buyers who couldn't figure out whether they wanted the high downforce variant of the car or the long tail variant, and have purchased both.
Ha! That's good.
Make the easy choice, right? Get both.
Yeah, get two in the garage, take one out on extra days. So these hypercars are getting their run around the track. We're talking to the Zingers, and their car is out on display for everybody to come and see. They are based in Los Angeles. They are in production, and when will we see? You said late next year?
Yeah, Q4 of next year, and like we said, we've got 80 vehicles. Most of them are sold, so most of them are reserved already, but there are, let's say, a few slots left, and we've got O'Gara to the right of our stand, and we've got Tom Price and the luxury collection to the left.
Okay,
Those are both our dealers here, so you know, come see us, come talk with them.
Of a year, you've got, like you say, just over a year now to market this. What will you be going to exhibitions and shows and doing this sort of thing?
Yeah, let's say we've got a unique marketing plan that includes multiple track records between now and the production start.
Yeah, so I'd say 2023 is going to be some real American rock and roll on tour around the world with this car and a bunch of cool tracks around the world.
It sounds awesome, and I love the look of it. Which one have you picked out for me? What color shall I have?
Any color your heart desires. We'll work on
What's the
that
blue?
with
What's
you.
the blue one called?
Blew my mind.
blew my mind. That's the one I'm going for. Blew my mind, because
Cool.
you've got that here.
Yes.
And then you've got the
Read My Mind.
Read My Mind. That's inside, right? That's
Yeah,
in the-
absolutely. That's the long tail version.
Very
so
nice indeed.
If you're going to smash every record, you need one body type that's slippery for the acceleration records, and then you need a high downforce body. The blue one, as you see, has 3.5 to 1 lift to drag. So when we ran it at COTA, say at a little over 190 miles an hour, it was generating over 4,000, actually over 4,400 pounds of downforce.
What did you get? What do you get top speed down at COTA? I know COTA well.
We were doing sort of in the mid 190s
Wow.
on the straight.
Awesome. That is really nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, thanks for coming in, both of you. I can literally see you from where I'm sat, so I will wave you over at any other opportunity you want to come in. Any feedback you get or anything you want to put across to the audience, feel free. We're here for you. So that's, that's an offer I'd give you today, tomorrow. Come back and see us. We'll be exhibiting again on track. Once again, do you know what time?
Tomorrow, I think it's the same time tomorrow, I believe.
Okay, good. All right, well, my thanks to Kevin and Lucas Czinger coming in here. Czinger Cars coming out fourth quarter of next year, based in Los Angeles. I tell you what, I'm smitten. I've been thrown a zinger.
Well, we're going to put you in touch with HR Owen.
All right, I'm in the business. I love it. Thanks for coming in, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk more. And any feedback you get, any stories you get, let us know. I just want to remind everybody there is an autograph session about to take place here in the plaza, so come on down to the food plaza. There's also a chance to buy merchandise, to buy food, to buy wine, to look at some lovely cars. I'm sat right next door to a Mario Andretti 1985 Indy car, so you can't beat that. My thanks to the Zingers. Plenty more to come from Velocity Invitational. Stay with us.